Okay, so this is how you get to the land.
This is
how do you get these bones? How does this all start?
Getting to that.
Okay.
And the way I discovered the bones was after I bought the property. We could fire the water way out there and wash the overburden away. And the overburden there is about 60 feet high. It's permafrost, silt. And underneath that, you have your gravel layer. And underneath the gravel, you have the gold and the bedrock. And the gravel layer and the muck interface is where most of the bones are. So we started finding lots of bones. I mean, a lot of bones. And in the first 3 years, we found thousands and thousands of tusks and bison heads.
So the permafrost is slowly melting, and you're hosing it down and pulling it. So the stench is literally like this ancient, rotting biological material.
It stinks.
Wow.
It's organic.
But it's been frozen forever.
Thousands, 20,000 years, 30,000 years, 50,000.
So this is you with the hose spraying it onto the side of this wall. So the way you do it is you just spray the side of these, like what would you call that hill?
It's a muck bench.
A muck bench.
Yes, sir.
So you spray that until you see something poking through?
Yes, sir. Well, you spray it, and then you walk up there and you turn the nozzle off the side, and you'll pick up the bones, the little pieces, leg bones, back bones.
Why is there so much in this one area?
Nobody knows.
Really?
Nobody.
Well, that's what's so crazy. Like when I watched the documentary on your place, when you show this giant room where you have all these buckets of femurs and skulls and tusks, and you have those paleontologists who are just like, they can't even believe what they're seeing.
Yeah. That's because a lot of those animals, they say, never lived up there during the Ice Age. So when they see it and they still think that, I just say, well, they sure as fuck died here.
So it's changing their ideas of what existed in that area.
Yes, sir.
Wow. And what's the oldest bones you guys have found?
We don't know. We've sampled maybe 4 or 5 of them. It costs $400 a sample, do a carbon-14 test on them. If I was to sample my entire collection today, it'd cost $100 million. Because we have close to 250,000 fossils now.
The whole place is crazy. I mean, it's so hard to believe that this one area has so many bones. They have no idea of, like, did these animals fall into a muck pit? Why are they there? They don't know.
No.
Because there's so many of them. And we're talking bones. We're not even talking fossils.
Right.
Right? Because they froze, which is very, very unusual.
Right. The documentary you saw, the Dick Mole, paleontologist. What
an unfortunate name, by the way. Dick Mole.
You know, I see what you're saying there.
I know you do.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones. You know, he came up and spent a few days with us, with the filmmaker that made that film, by the way. The filmmaker is a artist pure, just through and through. And I met him when he was working for National Geographic. And then he came to me and he says, hey, I'd like to make a documentary about the Boneyard. So I gave him unfettered access for 4 years. Just do what you got to do. Just stay out of our way. Don't make me worry about finding you under a muck bench or a tree falling on you. Just go do your thing. So he did. And the stuff that you're seeing there, and you saw in that video that you watched, the documentary, it's like nobody knows why any of that stuff is there.
Is that the most unusual site that they've ever discovered in terms of just the sheer quantity of bones?
Yes.
Wow. And you just found it by accident.
Yeah.
It just makes you think, how many more of those are out there?
Well, I know one more.
Really?
It's the next creek down. Yep.
So this area where you're extracting these bones from, how big is the actual area where you're finding these?
5 acres.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
And I get blamed. Well, I have I have a friend that says I got 10,000 dead woolly mammoth on my ground.
Wow, in 5 acres.
Yeah.
That's insane. Have any of these paleontologists speculated on why this one area would have so many dead animals?
No. If they have, they haven't told me.
And so you dated a few of them, and what were the dates from those few?
They went from as recent as 3,000 years ago to 22,000 years ago.
Wow.
And the reason this site is so interesting to them is because it's from one little area. So the context is there. And it spans what's called the extinction event. Graham is and Randall.
Yeah, the Younger Dryas impact theory.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of going along with them because
But that would make sense why they're all there.
Well, you got to remember that the Pleistocene started, 2.5 million years ago and stopped about 11,800 years ago.
Yeah.
So that whole area was ice, except for an ice-free corridor between Siberia and Alaska in the lower 48 that went right through where we're at. So there was migration happening, coming through there. And these animals lived there for tens of thousands of years, the grazers. Well, wherever there's grazers, there's going to be carnivores. You have the short-faced bear, you got the cave lions, we found all that stuff.
You found short-faced bears?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yep.
You got a short-faced bear head?
Yes.
What does that look like?
It's huge.
How big is it?
Probably about that long. When they stood up on their hind legs, they were 12 feet.
Yeah, we've shown photos of these replicas standing next to people.
Yeah, no, they're
It's
huge.
nuts.